Hello there, my name is Judith from the Lucid Mind Center, and today I wanted to talk with you about the Course in Miracles, what it meant for me, and what I can do for you. The Course is teaching you how your mind works, because the problem with our unhappiness is about the thoughts which are arising in our mind and how we are dealing with them. Because the thoughts which are appearing in your mind can be because of something you see, because of something you hear, because of something you read, because of something you remember. And the thoughts will cause different sensations within your body. And if you allow a negative train of thoughts to remain in your mind-body system, it can actually eventually make your body sick. Since I have become a Qigong instructor, I understand the correlation between the mind and body sick better than I did before. I always had a hunch that every single sickness started somehow in the mind. It's in our mind of how we are perceiving the world. Some illnesses are there because it's like a collective experience. So it's not only something which you as the patient or you as the person who is ill have to experience. Sometimes it's a whole family which is experiencing a particular illness. What is happening in our mind which is creating those terrible situations in our world? One thing is the illnesses, but the other things are war, are unhappiness, depression, anxiety. What is it with our mind? What is it in our collective mind that is creating those terrible things? And you can't make other people change their mind. This is impossible. What you can do is change your own mind. And to change your own mind, you have to be disciplined, depending on where you come from, depending on how your mind works, how your structure of your mind works, how the thoughts arise, how you can control those thoughts or not. Depending on that is where you have to attach your work. And the Course in Miracles is basically working through all possible scenarios of every possible human mind which can be there, and working its way through the different obstacles which we have in our mind to true happiness. In Qigong, it's explained that the body belongs to nature. The body belongs to this earth. And the mind belongs to the universe, to the divine energy. And I very much like this way they're explaining this. Is because you have to understand the mind-body connection. All thoughts are manifesting themselves one way or the other in the body. And some of them you're carrying along and some you don't. But when you generate happy thoughts, when you know how to distract yourself from negative thoughts, and when you understand how your mind works, then you can really accomplish anything and you can manifest anything you want. And we're not talking only about becoming rich. I'm talking about becoming happy. I'm talking about becoming joyful, about enjoying the moments in your life, about enjoying the people who are around you. This satisfaction is ingrained in us. It is making us do things. And fear is ingrained in us is because our world is putting too much emphasis on fear and guilt and on the negative thoughts. Some portions of precaution is necessary. Otherwise, in a jungle situation, you would walk up to a lion who might actually then pull you down and eat you. So, of course, some caution, some portion of healthy fear is necessary. But what we have done throughout the centuries, we even have condemned love, joy, happiness. And the Course in Miracles helps you to remove those obstacles to fear. So, in this particular channel, in the Lucid Mind Center, I like very much to combine different techniques to help you along faster. And what I have decided, what I have made in my mission is to create a Qigong lesson, a Qigong class for each one of the 365 lessons which we have in the Course in Miracles. Really, it is necessary for you to have the book, because each lesson you have to practice several times in a day. You can, of course, write it down, but you want to be able to go back to the book and also to consider by yourself. It is a very contemplative course. It's something which you're doing by yourself, where you yourself are working through understanding your mind. Nobody can understand your mind better than yourself. There are several different versions. I recommend to get the original one. You see, I'm working on it all the time, which is the blue version of the Foundation for Inner Peace. And this version has been around for 30, 40 years. As I began studying, this is the one I started with. As I began studying, I realized that there is different versions. There's different things which have been taken out of the original text. So, for example, this one I quite like. This is called A Course in Miracles, the Sparkly Edition. And then you have got this one, which is like a telephone book with very small letters inside, which is the Urtext version of A Course in Miracles. I would not recommend to start with this, because this is too small letters. It is too much information to begin with. This particular blue version has got 5 different sections in it. You've got something which is called the preface, which is kind of explaining what the Course in Miracles is and how it was conceived by Helen Schuckman. Then you have got the text, which is about 670 pages of text, which looks like this. Very difficult to understand in the beginning. In the beginning, I could only read one like paragraph of 4 sentences, and then I would have to reread it 10 times before I actually understood it. Sometimes I would fall asleep immediately. My ego trying to make me fall asleep so the understanding wouldn't change. So I wouldn't undo my ego, undo my fear. And then you have got the workbook for students, which has got 365 lessons. And then there is a manual for teachers. Teacher is anybody who decides to become a teacher and consciously wants to teach other people of A Course in Miracles. But a prerequisite is that you have finished the 365 lessons at least, and that you have read the text. And then the last section is the clarification of terms, where they are talking about specific terms which are often used within the book. Now, this whole book is based on Christianity. It's based on the Holy Spirit, on God, on sin. What is sin? Even talks about reincarnation. It talks about partnerships. It talks about love. It talks about things which, to us who have grown up in the West and have been touching Christianism in one way or the other, it's words which we know how to use. It talks about Easter, about Christmas. Like everything, what you want to learn, what really matters is that you practice yourself, that you apply the lessons to yourself, that you read the text, that you try to understand what is happening. If you can go to a group where you can discuss the different chapters of the book, or even where you can share about your impressions or experiences with the Course in Miracles, that is perfect. But one of the most important things is that you continue. You're gonna find times when it's hard to continue. You're going to find times where you think that the whole book is just no good for nothing. And eventually you will come back and you will continue. Most people, it takes much longer than a year to complete these lessons. I know there's many schools which start on the 1st of January and then do 1 lesson a day for 365 consecutive days. But the reality is that you don't necessarily always want to do a new lesson every day. The reality is that sometimes with the lesson you might stay 3 or 4 days, 2 days. Sometimes you can do 1 lesson per day, but then sometimes comes a holiday or something and then you leave it for 2 weeks. So I've had many of my friends which have taken maybe 1.5 years or more to complete the whole Course in Miracles, the 365 lessons. It took me 14 months to complete it for me the first time. The second time, it took me 2 years, and now I'm still on the third time because now I'm just picking from everywhere. When you're a new student, you start from the beginning and work your way through the book. Don't jump any lessons, and don't do 2 lessons in the same day. Do 1 lesson per day, or you can stay with that lesson for several days if you so choose. So I'm inviting you in to try first this Qigong class here, or you can try straight away, start with lesson number 1 of A Course in Miracles here. If you've got any kind of questions, if you would like me to explain any specific part in the text of A Course in Miracles, please let me know and I will talk about it.